Huddle. This is the Hubie and Abraham Takeover Show. Packers sitting right now through week number 8, 3-4-1. They fall under 500. Mike McCarthy has 3 wins right now. That equals the lowest win total since he took over as a head coach dating back to 2006 at this point in the season. Of course, everybody watching that New England Patriots game last night. And we've got to start with the big play of the game that really changed things, and that is the Aaron Jones fumble. It is his first fumble of his pro career. Of course, they get the stop. This would have put the Packers ahead. Instead, the Patriots tip the ball. They take over. They march down the field. They get 7, and unfortunately, the Packers are never able to recover. Aaron Jones spoke in the game, after the game, in the locker room in New England. Let's hear from him now.
We definitely beat ourselves. I beat us. If you want to put it that way. Fumble was very costly. We were moving down the field, close to getting the red zone. Costly fumble, you can't have that. And a game like this versus a great team who doesn't make mistakes, it's tough. I don't know what else to say. It's my mistake, and I'll correct it.
One play obviously doesn't lose the game, but it's plays like that by all of us, myself included, that have just hindered us from finishing games out. You know, and I say it all the time. Every year you have to learn how to win again. And we have to learn how to win on the road.
Maybe the team has yet to win on the road yet this year. That is 4 losses away from Lambeau Field. Hopefully they get one here soon because it doesn't get any easier. Of course, there's the home game this week with the Dolphins coming to town in that Thursday night matchup in Seattle. You also go to Minnesota as well. That's the weekend of Thanksgiving. So we'll keep you posted on all of that. But again, you just got to find a way to win in the fourth quarter. We saw it in Los Angeles. They couldn't do it. They can't do it in New England. And they're going to have to stack wins in a hurry because normally it's 10 wins to get to the postseason. Right now, it's just 3. So they're going to need to win 7 of the next 8 to get to 10 wins. But let's talk more now about this Patriots game because there were a lot of good things to come out of this. This is now our Hubie and Abraham good drive of the game. They remind you not to text and drive. And Davante Adams, of course, with this touchdown catch. It was amazing to see Aaron Rodgers roll to his left. And then this is almost Jordy Nelson-esque. This is what 87 used to do. You see him slap his hands, then Aaron Rodgers finds him. Just a phenomenal play right there. And that was his touchdown. He's actually got 7 on the season. That leads the team tied for 2nd in the NFL. Antonio Brown right now leading all receivers with 9 receiving touchdowns. But talking about receivers, we had Randall Cobb back. Geronimo Allison still remains a question mark. Head coach Mike McCarthy speaking earlier today that he may need surgery to repair an injury. So he would be a big loss. But we've got a lot more coming up here on Inside the Huddle. Hopefully we'll be joined by Davante Adams. We're going to go around the league. We're going to get you some Wendy's questions. We've got a lot of fun playing. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Go get some food. Come on back. We got a lot more to come from the Green Bay Distillery after this. In the postseason, looking for yet another consecutive state title. But we're here talking about the Packers on Inside the Huddle at the Green Bay Distillery. They're coming off a tough loss on the road at New England, and they are really banked up right now. We want to show you the injury report. This is brought to you by Wisconsin Stem Cell Therapy. And just look at the names on this list. Geronimo Allison, of course, we told you with that groin injury, may need surgery. Brian Bulaga still having problems with that knee. He's been bugging him all season. Of course, he had the ACL in the offseason. Kentrell Bright's dealing with the knee as well, and they're going to need him to play well because they traded away Clinton Dix. And of course, as we continue down this list, Kevin King. I keep getting tweets about TJ Watt. They should have picked him every time Kevin King doesn't do something, but they need him to play well. And of course, at the bottom, our other Inside the Huddle co-host, that is Blake Martinez on the ankle. We got to show you this because he rolls it pretty badly. It was stepping on Tom Brady's foot, was able to come off the field, went to the locker room, and somehow was able to come back. And I texted him, he said he'll be okay, but that is cause for concern because he wears the communications helmet in the middle of that Packers defense, also leading the team in yards. He wants to get to 1,000. They haven't had a chance to do this so far this season. Receiving average pretty good. I mean, he's getting a first down every time he touches the ball at 12.6. And of course, we talked about this a little bit earlier in the show. He's got the 7 TDs to lead the team, and that is also 2nd in the NFL, trailing only Antonio Brown from the Steelers. He's 2 better than him at number 9. So, of course, the Dolphins coming to town this week. We still don't know if it's Ryan Tannehill. We don't know if it's Brock Osweiler, but this team's so much better at home. You've got to think they need to get this win if they have any sort of chance to make the playoffs. Again, they have been unsuccessful away from Lambeau Field. It's 4 losses there. Of course, the tie, which may come into play against the Vikings, but they need to get a win this upcoming Sunday. And Mike McCarthy, again, talking about all those injuries, and that is big cause for concern because they already have the bye week. And when you add the stress of going on a plane, you go from coast to coast, Los Angeles, then you're going out to New England, you're coming home for a quick minute, then all of a sudden you're back out west to Seattle. I mean, that's a lot of wear and tear on the bodies. Remember the Patriots, they have their own plane with the recovery systems on board so they can get the players back to 100% as quickly as possible. You got to believe that this Packers team is tired right now. Luckily this week they don't have to get back on a plane and they need to take care of business here at home. We remind you again to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and more. We got a lot coming up from the Green Bay Distillery. Be sure to stay with us right here on Inside the Huddle. I'm Josh Boats. I love that they take their own time to figure it out, and they put this together, and it all comes to fruition on Sunday.
If you think about it, last year I feel like the Eagles were kind of the ones running that interesting, exciting celebration, and now it feels like the Seahawks have taken that mantle, which maybe the Packers started with the bobsled, like you talked about with Devontae in the past.
Yeah, and this might be the best touchdown celebration from the weekend at home. I don't know if you caught this one. This one happening in New Orleans. Michael Thomas, big game, and going retro on us. Watch him get into the end zone, and then, what is he going to do next? He's going to find the pylon, going vintage. 2003, gets the cell phone, and all of a sudden it is Joe Horn all over again. Gets a flag, but he doesn't care. They would go on to win the game. And speaking of Joe Horn, here it is, so you can get an idea of what we're talking about. He catches the touchdown, also hit the cell phone. Ryan, I think the most interesting thing I heard is that Thomas went to a liquor store prior to the game, bought the flip phone, but this is pretty good. I love the creativity.
He actually bought 2 flip phones and put them on both end zones because who knows if you score in the first half or the second half. You got to be pretty confident that you're going to score. I don't think he'd scored a touchdown at home since like week 2. So backed up his talk there.
We're on a team at Fox 11. How would you feel as a teammate when you know you get that flag and potentially you cost your team 15 yards in a tight game against a team that hadn't lost the game all season up to that point?
I personally didn't have an issue with it because they were up 10 with 3 to play. If it's 7, that's an entirely different issue because then you got to go back to the sideline and be like, sorry guys, my bad. But I think when you're up 10, I don't think his teammates were probably too upset about it. I could be wrong though.
Next, we're going to the Ivy League. This was between Brown and Yale, and we had a phenomenal one-handed catch. We're going to show you that in a minute, but we're talking about the Rams because they lost for the first time. Of course, the Packers still trying to make the playoffs, but the NFC looking really tough, and the Saints may be cementing a position in the South that they could be the team to beat.
I think the NFC South is really strong because you have the Panthers sitting at 6-2 as well. Obviously, we saw Packers play the Rams as close as anybody had before last week, so maybe the Saints can thank the Packers for kind of slowing them down a little bit. Rams' offense, they're really good. Obviously, we saw the Saints 45-35. Chiefs have a great offense. It's the year of the offense in the NFL.
Yeah, we're going to need this Packers defense to step it up a little bit, or maybe need the offense to score a few more points.
It might be the latter.
Yes, I think so. All right, we continue on. Now we want to go to the Ivy League because this is just a phenomenal catch. And not a lot of people saw this, courtesy of ESPN3, going one-handed in the corner of the end zone. We're going to show this to you one more time because I know that angle is kind of far away. So watch this. The player's name is JP Shofi, and all of a sudden goes across his body. And I would love to see Devontae Adams do something like this, but a college player, give us some love in the Ivy League. We got to do it.
If I'm not mistaken, Devontae made a catch like that in family night in practice like 3 or 4 years ago that looked very similar to that. JP, apparently it's just guys with initials in their name. That's an OBJ catch, JP.
I like it. Of course, this is a Wisconsin sports show. We got to give some love to the Bucks right now. It is 8-1 right now for Milwaukee, and Giannis continuing his MVP campaign early in the season. This might be the dunk of the year so far. This was against Sacramento. It's amazing. You almost got a 7-footer, can handle the ball like a guard, takes 2 steps, and then all of a sudden, it's the hammer, Ryan.
Well, he did this on Kostas Koufis, who is also from Greece. Giannis is from Greece. Giannis said post-game, he's like, I know his family, I know his mom. Sorry, I'll have to go and apologize to him next time I see him when I'm back in Greece.
I apologize. I would call this a must-win. They can't figure out how to win away from Lambeau. You got to win when you're at Lambeau.
they haven't lost at Lambeau, so that's the plus. They're 3-0-1. Yeah, you have to because, I know you've mentioned, they have Seattle and Minnesota coming up. Seattle's playing better football. The Vikings
Team
look
right now, like vision.
or the Bears. It's hard to say it,
Yeah.
but that's what it looks like. So yeah, I think it is because if they lose this one, you're staring at must-wins probably the rest of the way.
That's right. Dolphins had a very good defensive effort against the Jets. Yes, it's Sam Darnold and the Jets, but we're going to need this offense to score points, and I think that's going to be the key.
Yeah, especially in not making mistakes in the fourth quarter. Mike McCarthy talked about it today. They have to play consistent football.
Yep. The big question, of course, looming overhead: do you get rid of Mike McCarthy if they lose this game? I'm not trying to throw anything out there like that, but 3-4-1, and you hear claps from the audience. I mean, is change coming?
I don't know if you're going to see it in season.
I don't think so either.
But it's a possibility, especially if they lose, say, 5 in a row. If they lose this one and then the next 2 on the road.
All right, as always, we will keep you posted, but we're very excited to announce that Donald Driver will be coming back next week to host the show. We're celebrating our 300th